Check, check, check. Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Live!
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome, in fact, to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Bills. How is everybody doing? Station, pop, pop, boom, up in the room. Man, it has been a great weekend here in PCP land. I hope you had a great weekend. This has been a phenomenal weekend. I know you've heard me say this already before, but this is one of the best weekends of the year. Absolutely awesome. I'm going to tell you something, though. When it comes to sports, not all of my teams are looking good, but one team is looking good. We'll be talking about that. I hope your sports teams won this week. I hope the loves of your life showed up this week. I hope you made some great memories this week. But now we are here on another Sunday night after a week hiatus because of Memphis Comic Expo. Back to Rockin Robbie Live. How is everybody doing? As you can tell, I'm super excited to be here tonight on the show. We have some really great stuff planned out, including the DC sneak peek, including DC in the 90s. And at some point, somebody said, what about some Superman triangle era DC in the 90s content? You're getting your wish tonight. The first Triangle Years Superman DC in the 90s will be debuting tonight. All that, including show and tell, and I will be talking about my experience over at the Memphis Comic Expo and showing off what I got signed and what I bought at the con and just sharing some pictures and some memories of the time because it was an absolute fantastic show. Met a lot of friends of the show, met a lot of compatriots here, contemporaries of mine, and also met a lot of great people from the industry. Such a great weekend last week, and I am even more pumped because we got Scarefest coming up. I'm going to be at Scarefest. It's like, I don't know, like October 19th, 21st, 22nd, something like that. Around that time in Lexington, Kentucky, I will be at Scarefest. I think it's 15. I think it's year 15 for Scarefest. A great lineup of iconic celebrities from the horror industry, and I will be there with Hammer Time Holshoe, and I am so excited. So, all donations tonight are welcome for that Scarefest. Now, here's the thing. The way YouTube works is this. Any super chat I get tonight, I won't get till towards the end of November. And that's cool. We welcome super chats, all the support out there we love. But if you want to give me money directly to help the movement to get me to Scarefest and have a great time and meet a lot of cool people there and then report on it here, you can send donations directly to my PayPal contact 420@gmail.com. That is pinned up at the top. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. You can join our Patreon if you want to help support the channel in the long term. Patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there. We got cool links. You can get discounts at dynamicforces.com when you use code Robbie. You can get discounts over at BlackBox Comics when you use code PCP10. And of course, we are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Instagram's where we're more likely to be active, but we're also incredibly active in our Facebook group, the PCP Army. So if you haven't joined the PCP Army, do that right now. Our official Facebook Pop Culture Philosophers group. And you can follow me on Twitter if you want to at the Rockin Robbie, but that's like tumbleweeds over at Twitter's. You know what I'm saying? And I was just about to hit 1K subscribers for the first time on Twitter. Not that I ever cared about Twitter. Anyway, we got a great show coming up tonight. DC Sneak Peek, DC in the 90s, the Memphis Comic Expo recap and haul video, whatever you want to call it. A little bit of show and tell and a lot of cool, fun conversation. But even though we got some great topics of conversation and some great bits and segments planned for tonight, this show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So get them in right now. What do you want to chat about here in our opening shots? I will say that we've been nominated for 6 CBC Awards, so please go to cbcawards.org and vote for your favorite YouTube channels, including Pop Culture Philosophers. We are nominated for Favorite Channel, nominated for Best Collaboration for the monthly comic book review. Just had one on Thursday night, a great conversation. Best Hands, Mustache, Facial Hair, or Hair. I've been nominated for Beard. We're just going to say that's hair and beard. Best comic book review, best ongoing series for the weekly comic book review, and comic book community channel of the year. We are right in the midst of Horror Fest, everybody. Tomorrow night, the winner of the PCP Army Audience Choice Horror Fest poll is what's being discussed at 8 p.m. Central Time. It's going to be Tales from the Hood. And I cannot thank you enough, PCP Army, for making this your official HorrorFest 2023 pick. Over at Blood Splatter Chatter on Thursday, they'll be talking about Deadstream. Haven't seen this movie, heard some good stuff about it. I definitely might have to check out this show. And then Dylan's Horror Show on Saturday, they'll be talking about the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy, encompassing Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. You got a little taste of the contention that's going to be on that show last night towards the end of our review of Wishmaster, which is a phenomenal movie. HorrorFest is right here, y'all. We are right in the thick of it, the midst. That's what we're doing. We now pause for station identification. All right, everybody, once again, you can send a super chat if you want, but we will not get that until after Scarefest. But if you want to directly contribute to the Scarefest Rockin Robbie Fund, you can send donations to PayPal at contact420@gmail.com. It's pinned up in the post. And if you do that, let me know in the chat so I can verify that and we can have a celebration. All right, let's take a look at the chat. Let's see what's going on. But before we do that, actually, it's time for your official... Where's the button? It's been a while. Okay, here we go. It's time for your... First 5. This is my last pack of Mark Spears Monsters cards. I got to call Mark up. I got to get more of these packs because I'm going to start sending these out with mystery boxes when we start those back up. So let's open up this pack, and the first 5 cards I pull out are going to be the first 5. And let's go from the back this time. Sometimes you like going from the back, sometimes the front, sometimes the back. All right, we got a Night of the Living Dead card. That's the first Romero zombie we ever see on screen, so that's super cool. Then we got... Oh, that's dope. I haven't gotten that one. Grimly Gold. Kind of like a mummy. Is it the mummy? Is that a mummy, a zombie, or a creature? It looks like a crocodile, dude. That's Killer Croc. It's Killer Croc's brother, Lil Croc. I like that. Then we got the Mark Spears. Let's see. We got Drax Hot Rod. We've gotten that a couple times in this series. Very cool, though. Very cool. Oh, this is a cool card. I got a Houdini sticker. Trick or treat, Houdini sticker, collect all 7. That's really cool. Look at that. I like the old school look. Looks like an old school like poster, advertisement, something like that. Got like some kind of big monster holding Harry Houdini into his little thing there. That's 4 cards. And the next one, ooh, a black and white edition of his werewolf, which is very much like the werewolf from Monster Squad. Mark Spears, good friend of mine. Used to work with him at comic shops back in the day. He is very much a successful artist now. He's launched 2 series, 3 maybe, of these cards. He's got Spawn covers under his belt. He's got some other mainstream work coming, and I know it has been announced, his Headless Horseman for the Dark Horse Halloween special. Definitely want to check that out. So that has been your... First 5. All right, and before we get any further, how about them Cowboys? Yo, I wasn't here last week for Rockin Robbie Live. I was out of town in Memphis, right? Well, then I got back from Memphis, but then I had other stuff going on. However, I have noticed a pattern so far 4 weeks into the NFL season. Out of the last 4 weeks, the Cowboys have won 3 of the 4 games. The game they lost was the game I was in Memphis for and did not stream. Makes me think that when the Cowboys play, I gotta stream in order to keep that vibe alive. So right now, we're going to see if we can make that happen. We shall see. But next week, I will make this special announcement that next week, we will be live for the 49ers and Dallas Cowboys Sunday Night Football with a Super Chat menu. That means Robbie's getting drunk, he's watching the game, and we're going to have a grand old time. Get ready. That's going to be next week here on the channel, October 8th, 7 p.m. Central Time. Let's take a look at the chat. We got GT Key Comic up in the house. We got R. Ariaga in the house with the station. We got Choco's 26. How about them Cowboys? How about them? Look good tonight. A rebound, bounce back, if you will, from last week's terrible game. I watched part of that game, watched the rest of it at the restaurant, and I was just done. I was just over it. But today was a good day to be a Cowboys fan. 3-1, baby. The only thing that would have made today better is if the Eagles would have lost. But what a crazy ending to that Eagles and Commanders game. And also, not only are the Cowboys 3-1, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 3-1. Am I a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan? No. But I'm more of a fan of them now that Tom Brady's not there. And also, a very special person in my life is a huge fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So can I get a Go Bucks station pop Bucks up there in the chat, everybody? That's for you, Spillio. Love you. Nothing. What is up? Nothing is in the house. Oh, a Niners fan. Next week's going to be real fun. That's the first true test in the Cowboys season because y'all are fucking insane. The 49ers look so good. They looked amazing today. First time that dude, I can't remember his name. First time that dude did 4 touchdowns. I think his career high was like 3. Maybe. Before this game, he did 4. Maybe it was 2. I don't know. But what a phenomenal performance from the 49ers today. Should the Cowboys be scared? Yeah. Not really scared. More like prepared. Hey, there's Castle. What's up, Spillio? How about them Bucks? Exactly. How about them? Nick from Comic Culture's in the house. Station. Eric's in the house. Station. Two very important people in my life. We'll be talking about that later. Fable, what is up? Everybody, this Saturday night, Fable and his amazing friends, Blame Fable and his amazing friends, makes its debut here on YouTube. It's always been uploaded later on YouTube, or a lot of the episodes have been. This is the first time he's going live officially for YouTube. Y'all did like a little like figuring out stream. I watched it on the replay and I was like, damn, I wish I was there. I could have helped out a little bit. I love, by the way, how little Verno fucking knows about StreamYard, by the way. Uses it every goddamn week. Doesn't know how to do it. But that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. We're not going to throw shade at Verno tonight. Or anything like that. Good to see you, though, Fable. Everybody sub up one collection down. Throw a link in the chat, one of the mods. Please go sub up Fable so you do not miss out on what has been the best IG show and is about to be the second best YouTube show. Sorry, bro. First of all, sorry, Nick. He's over. He's going to leap you. But sorry, Fable. You ain't leaping me. It's just... If it gets dangerous, we're gonna have beef. This is what I already see it right now, Fable. We're gonna plan this shit out. I've been watching WrestleManias. I'm in the middle of WrestleMania 5 right now on my revisit through all the WrestleManias. We're gonna like form this fucking feud. I'm gonna be like, oh no, there ain't no way, brother Fable, that you're gonna have a better show than me here live on YouTube about comics, pop culture, and movies and all kinds of wicked crazy shit. We're gonna start a beef. It's gonna be like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. When they had that split, the superpowers are going to collide, and then we're all going to be the better for it. Who wants to go heel? Me or Fable? I think right now I'm set up to be the most likely heel. I think everybody's ready for a heel turn from Rockin Robbie at any moment. They're like, this dude keeps drinking on these streams. He's doing a heel turn whether he wants to or not. Love you, Fable. James, what is up? Two Gun Pedro, pew pew, station, pop pop, pew pew, boom boom, hell yeah, pop pop, boom boom. You know what I'm saying? Rob Liefeld would appreciate that, Two Gun. Eric, enjoyed the hell out of you and Nick's stream. Good stuff, says James. I agree. I watched that stream. Actually, Nick asked me to be on it. I was like, maybe if I can fit it. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have been able to fit it in anyway, but he sent me the link. I was like, what time's the show? Meanwhile, they're doing the show. And I'm like waiting on a response. Like, what time are we doing the show? Mike comes into work. He's like, you not watching Nick? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, Nick and Eric are live right now. I was like, fuck. I'm right in the middle of Marvel FOC. Ain't no way. Can't do it. Because Marvel's an FOC you got to pay attention to. Because there's like a shit ton of covers for the most random shit sometimes. And you're like, okay, I got my numbers ready. Got my numbers down. Oh, 6 motherfucking covers. All right, let me look at the subs. Oh, really? Oh, one of these covers is Scotty Young. Yeah, it's going to fuck up my numbers. Anyway, moving on. Tom is in the house. What up, Robbie? I'm reading Dark Knight's Metal Omnibus. What was your thoughts on the event? Tom, here's my thoughts on the event in a nutshell. Number one, when I first started reading Dark Knight's Metal, I didn't really like it that much at first. For the first 2 issues, if you go back to the weekly comic book reviews, find the episodes, I didn't give them very positive reviews. But by issue 3, I was like, you know what? This book is metal. It's rock and roll. I'm going to let go and try to have fun with this book. And from that moment on, I enjoyed every fucking bit of metal. Every time I've revisited metal, I enjoy it. And more so than my enjoyment of metal, the highest of my enjoyment was the Justice League run that Scott Snyder did right afterwards with a great artist like Mika Hanen, but mostly Jorge Jimenez. So Scott Snyder, Jorge Jimenez did this run of Justice League bridging metal to death metal. That run of Justice League is my second favorite run of Justice League, right behind Grant Morrison and Howard Porter. I love Snyder and Jimenez and Company's Justice League. I thought it was big and epic, and it was playing on the whole challenge of the Super Friends stuff, the Legion of Doom. It worked. It was cosmological. It was DC metaphysical in a way. It was really freaking cool and big and kept escalating and escalating and escalating and escalating. And my interest was percolating and percolating and percolating and percolating. And we were all anticipating and anticipating and anticipating and anticipating. And it erupted into death metal, which I loved as well. So there you go. My thoughts on metal, fucking awesome. 4.5 you digs out of 5. The Justice League run, 4.69, and death metal, 4.5. But I love big, giant, crisis-level, cosmological DC events. What's up, Kenneth? How you doing? It's totally worth it, Spilio. Hey, what's up, Frankenfrog? Pop, pop, boom yourself. Oh, that's right. Spilio at his shop. What's the name of your shop again? Please throw it out in the chat. Down in Florida, you got Sarah Frazetta coming to the shop on Wednesday. That's freaking awesome. Vampirella Dead Flowers is out this week, right? So very excited for that. I think Sarah has done a hellaciously awesome job continuing the legacy of her grandfather. It is her grandfather, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Jay Nunya says, Sup dog, just got back from seeing The Creator. It's good. Oh, I was thinking about seeing The Creator today. Plans changed. I was actually invited to be a part of a sexy murder mystery, which actually I won. Surprisingly enough, it was like a more elaborate and sexy game of Clue in a way, and I won, and I got a lot of cool prizes, and I can't share those prizes here on air, just so y'all know. And if you wanted to know, it was invitation only, just so you know. Anyway. But I definitely want to see The Creator. I'm going to try to make plans to see it at some point this week. I got a play date with John. I got a date night or two planned this week. But maybe I can squeeze it in next Sunday. Today, of course, I had to go get a haircut. Look, got a fresh cut. My stylist had some death within her circle of people. And so 2 weeks ago when my last appointment was, she messaged me and she was like, yo, we got to push the appointment back. Can we do next week? I was like, well, I'm in Memphis. So we had to do it today, October 1st, but it's cool because happy fucking October. Happy first day officially of Halloween. Though I love seeing all these people post on socials today, be like, oh, it's October 1st, time to watch some horror movies. We're like, where the fuck y'all slackers been? Where the fuck y'all slackers been? Halloween's for tourists, baby. We live it all year long here, baby. Here, DHS, BCS? Blood splatter chatter. BSC. BCS is the Bowl Championship Series or whatever the fuck. What was I saying? I was saying something. Blah, 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 blah. Horror all the time. October 1st. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, I got my haircut today. 2 weeks late. I was really stressing it over these last 2 weeks. I was like, it's not quite. But anyway, what I'm saying is, this was the first time I got to tell my stylist, her name's Kristen, I got to tell her for the first time that we were nominated, because I do think it's a we, that we were nominated for Best Hair and Beard. And she was ecstatic, y'all. So make Kristen happy. And I told her if we win, I'm going to bring the award up there. We could take a picture together and all that shit. So look at the wonderful work she does for Rockin Robbie. Look at that. Got the beard trim. Oh, with the nice eucalyptus hot towel wrapped around my face, just feeling so good. Y'all, don't vote for me. My genetics, I guess my diet, I don't know what it is. It makes the hair. However, she makes the hair make the hair, if that makes sense. So go and nominate or vote for Kristen. Do it for Kristen, y'all. Hashtag. Do it for Kristen. Best hair. Come on, let's do it. That would give her a trip, yo. She likes to ask me about the YouTube career. And she knows I go to a lot of cons, so we're always talking about that. And she's a big horror movie fan. So, today we were talking about Saw X, which I did watch Saw X. A lot of people saying Saw X is the best one since the first one. I will just say, no, it's not. I I didn't not enjoy the experience, but my full thoughts will be revealed on October 30th for the PCP finale of Horror Fest when we review the entire Saw franchise. So that's going to be dope. It was Tynan that Justice League. No, it was Snyder. But Tynan was there to do some of the more exposition-y issues that they would do. And they always did a Legion of Doom episode or so, or issue every, like, arc or two. And so Tynan was a big help in that run, but it was Snyder's run. Spawn crossover with Ghostbusters. Is that something that's actually happening? Because that would be awesome. I mean, I'd check it out. I wouldn't have too high hopes for it. Looks like my chat jumped down. There we go. Oh, Spilio, you did it all yourself. Spilio says, that's awesome, Jay. I'm hearing great things about the creator. Me too. Jonathan, what is up? Name changes as a Green Bay fan. Go Packers. Okay. Eric's here, right? Eric, I'm sorry, bro. Cowboys are taking new fans, by the way, if you just want to jump off the Chicago train, because they just keep kicking you in the nuts when you're down, bro. That's what they're doing to you, man, and I don't know if it's fair. Comics by the Bay, what is up? Take a shot every time they mention Taylor Swift tonight. Not watching the game tonight. Are the Chiefs playing? Or was that Thursday? I don't give a shit about Taylor Swift and that dude. Who fucking cares? Like, I'm just like, why is this all the sports coverage this fucking week? Jesus, that blew my fucking mind. It's the power of Taylor Swift. The boys don't have a chance. We'll see. Hey, what's up, Comic Book Therapy? Hey, what's up, Damien? Sleepy Reader 666 is in the house. Y'all nominate. My bad, not nominate. He's already been nominated. Vote for him for Lifetime Achievement Award. He deserves it at cbcawards.org. Hey, Spilio, we got another Tampa Bay fan, Jonathan, right there. Eric, thank you for throwing out Fable's link. Everybody, sub up to One Collection Down when the second best show on YouTube debuts on Saturday. Tom says, I'm a Pats fan. 20 years of the GOAT, can't complain. I loved how today the big narrative, obviously Ezekiel Elliott coming back to Dallas to play against his former team. He had a couple good runs at first, and then it was just done. It was just over. It was nice to see, especially after last week. For me, at least. It was good on Mike for dropping that reminder. It's just the problem is when Mike's like just trying to be friendly and remind you of something, Eric, he like comes across very gruff and abrasive. So he's like, what do you mean you're not watching fucking Eric and Nick? What's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm sorry. Brother Joe, what is up, my man? How you doing? Snyder writes too much. Maybe he does. What's up, Evil Face? How you doing? Yeah, but to answer your question, I would be down for a Spawn crossover with Ghostbusters. Did they officially announce that? I missed that. I haven't been on the... Check my PayPal. All right. We're going to check the PayPal now. Oh. Sorry, that wasn't your PayPal. I said auto another thing. All right, here we go. It's pulling up on my phone right now. I just got a notification for some Cardi B fucking video on First We Feast. Hey, go Bucks. Love you, bro. Big time. I love you too. You and Brittany, y'all are at the absolute best. I love y'all so much. I hope you had a great weekend. Brittany, I heard you had a great time. John told me how much he loves seeing you excited when y'all go there. So I just thought it was absolutely awesome to hear that. So thank you all so much. We really do appreciate the support and all of the direct Donations through PayPal directly support our Scarefest efforts. Y'all ready? Well, let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had a sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit! Now he fights with a man who's a fish named Dave. Now he fights with a fire starter named Liz and an ectoplasmic mess named Johan. BBLD. Bum 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 dun 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 bum 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 dum bum 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 dun dun bum. Thank you so much, Spilio and Brittany. Love y'all. From the bottom of my HEART, I give you LUV. Copyright that shit. I seriously get that fast tracked through. I want a quarter every time. Every time. Make t-shirts. There's nobody there. Hey, so Tuesday marks the 7th anniversary of the weekly comic book review. So what I plan on doing is doing the weekly comic book review live with a little bit of a Q&A or just an AMA or a just bullshit session, BS session, whatever you want to call it. Q&A, AMA, BSA, it doesn't matter. We're going live Tuesday night to celebrate 7 years of the weekly comic book review every single week. It's going to be nice. It's going to be fun. Hope to see you there. What's up, Joram? How you doing? I like that Legion of Doom issue. They should do a Legion of Doom series. I think, Jay, right now, what they need to do is get Justice League back on track at some point. Because right now, they're trying to build up the Titans as being the most prevalent thing. And I think that it's not working. As far as just trying to make the Titans the preeminent thing. I mean, Dawn of DC's doing well, and I like how interconnected everything is, but obviously we're gearing up to a return of the Justice League. Once that happens, I'm ready for a reimagined or a refocused, retweaked Legion of Doom. When they bring Justice League back, who should write it? Who should write it? I don't know. Who I think is going to write it is Joshua Williamson. Joshua Williamson seems to be on the path right now as one of DC's main architects, him and Mark Waid. So I think one of those two will probably wind up writing it. Who should write it? That's a tough one. Right now, I would say maybe one of those two. Mark Waid's already done great work there before. Both Josh and Mark seem to be kind of like the architects of the DCU right now. So I don't know. Who do y'all think? Who should take over Justice League? Mark Waid and Dan Mora. That's where I'm going. Mark Waid and Dan Mora on Justice League seems like such a no-brainer to me. Or Josh Williamson and Dan Mora. That seems like a no-brainer. Jorge has already done Justice League, but Dan Mora has not. So I think Dan Mora would be a really good pairing with either Mark or Josh for that book, Justice League. Oh, look at all the love in the chat. Don't kink shame name changes. I love the leaps y'all are making in your heads. Am I going to dress up for Halloween? I actually haven't thought about it. Halloween's on a Tuesday. Tuesday I'll be at work in the office doing pools. But I guess I should wear a costume for the monthly or for the weekly review, which I'll be recording that night. I should wear a costume. What should I wear? I don't know. Yeah, I'll wear a costume, but I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe we'll see. Get caught up on this chat. Name changes needs a haircut and a beard trim. I try to get mine done every week, man. I mean, every week. That would be ridiculously expensive. Every month. It's been a big deal. Hell yeah, Jonathan's birthday's in October. Hell yeah. Nothing says the creator gives me Golden Child vibes. Name changes says Saw original was classic. Every other one rides on twists. Yeah, we can say that. I've had a lot of fun revisiting the Saw franchise, though. HorrorCon right now in LA Con Center. Hell yeah. Opinions on Stuff and Nightmares. I think the idea was not bad, but the way it was put together, it just felt like the idea deserved a better execution. I actually didn't mind the execution of it, Ariaga. I did not like the first Stuff and Nightmares miniseries, but I liked this one shot. But I did have heard a lot of people. I have heard a lot of people that thought the execution was a bit poor on that. What's up, Patrick's Garage? Hey, what's up, Clayton? Love you, homie. Miss you as well. Hope to see you soon, my man. I think of you every time I'm watching WrestleMania, my brother. Mad Max Pliskin, what is up? I love the name. How you doing, Station? Where are the Buccaneers? Under your bucking hat. I like that. Spawn versus Venom. That would be a cool one to do, especially if Todd did it, or at least Capullo with Todd inking it. That would be great. Preston, I don't know what you're listening to. Who knows? Some crazy dude vaping and drinking on a live stream. Gunslinger Spawn versus Jonah Hex. Yeah, 7 years. Yeah, AMA this Tuesday. Aw, thank y'all. I don't look a day over 8, do I? Robbie, have you seen the Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon? It features the Cenobites. I've never seen Extreme Ghostbusters, no. I remember when it was coming out, but I was beyond it at that point. I used to watch the real Ghostbusters all the time. Taylor says, Dan Moore is fast enough to keep up on JLA. I agree. Is Alan Davis still working? I would love to see him on Justice League. He is still working, but he's not working, I don't think, at that pace to do a monthly book. He was actually at the Memphis Comic Expo last week. Tom, I do not own a comic book store, but I am the store manager of a comic book store. All right, well, first of all, Eric, his name is Kurt, not Chris. And it's, hold on, let me think about this before I say it. Kurt Pierres. I think I finally got it right. Kurt Pierres. That would be interesting. Especially that Kurt hasn't done any mainstream work as far as I can remember. And that would be very odd to give Kurt, who's done hardly anything with the mainstream big two, Justice League. It would almost be as curious as giving Tom King Batman. I do have the glove already for Freddy. I just would need the hat, the mask, and the hat, the mask. Fuck. The hat, the mask, and the shirt. That's what I would need. I got the glove already. Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Clayton, I would actually, if I was any of those dudes from Mortal Kombat, I would be Reptile. Reptile was my fucking favorite. Green's my favorite color. So I would be Reptile. I love Scorpion. I love the idea. You could put like a little bit of skull mask. What's cool is you could do a Scorpion mask with like a human face and then have like a skull mask underneath it. So you could pull that fucking off and then be a skull underneath it. But I would be Reptile. What's up, Duffy? I want to see Rom V write Justice League, but it won't happen. Taylor, I agree. I don't think that Rom V would take that gig. I don't think that that's in his wheelhouse. I don't think he would want to. We'll see, though. You never know. William says, met Walton Wheezy Simonson yesterday. Those are two true legends. Me too. I met them a couple years ago at HeroesCon. They were a couple rooms down from us at our hotel. I had many elevator rides and even some breakfast lines with them. And they were absolutely awesome. Kurt Pierres. See, Eric, joke's on you, bruh. Brother Joe, I would love to see, if you go as Captain Spaulding, you have my blessing, and I would love to see pics. Oh, man, I got to get the real Ghostbusters on DVD. I got to get Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, and Silverhawks on DVD. I have Jim and the Holograms on DVD, but that's like the only complete cartoon from the 80s that I have, aside from like some Superpowers, Super Friend shit. Oh, Reptile is dope. Yeah, Clayton, I don't really have any plans for Halloween. I know we're going. I hope you're going with us to the haunt. I don't know if you. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Obviously, we can talk about personal life off camera. But my only plans are really that weekend are doing my streams and going to a haunt with the fam. That'd be dope as fuck though if we did like a Mortal Kombat, fucking like. We all have like a month to get together. But like, if we did like a Mortal Kombat theme for our costumes, that would be so fucking dope. I would totally rock Reptile. Fuck, I gotta get that costume together. How am I gonna do that? How do you get a Reptile costume? Oh, do I paint my face all reptile-y? Oh, fuck yeah, you'll be there. Oh, I'm even more excited now, Clayton. Have you ever reviewed Meet the Feebles? Not really a horror flick, but I felt like it could fit in with this crowd. No, I haven't done Meet the Feebles yet, but we haven't done any of those Peter Jackson films, man. I would love to do Dead Alive or Brain Dead, however you like to call it. And The Bad Taste would be interesting as well. But Dead Alive is one that me and Dylan have been waiting to do. And they just recently announced like a new Blu-ray restoration, a 4K restoration or something. And so we're waiting on that right now. But Dead Alive is coming probably on DHS. Hell yeah. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Memphis Comic Expo. It's time to talk about it. Time to show some pictures. If you follow me on socials, you've already seen the pictures, but you haven't seen what I picked up, and you haven't heard all the stories. So that's what we're going to do when we come back here on Rockin Robbie Live.
Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Live.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. How is everybody doing? We've had a great show already tonight. We've been talking about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more, including a little bit of football. And just may I say, well, it's not time for that yet. It's just not time for that. It's a different screen. It's a different screen. Y'all, you remind me, you're making me look bad. There's nobody there. All right, welcome though, everybody, to the show. We got a great show planned. We still got a lot to get to, including the DC sneak peek, including DC in the 90s, and we're about to get into the Memphis Comic Expo report and haul. So there you go. Find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. You can follow us on Twitter at The Rockin Robbie. That's where I am. You can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. It's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group, and you can support us over at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there, or with Super Chat tonight, or with a direct donation to my PayPal, contact420@gmail.com, pinned at the top of the chat. If you want to donate, I would appreciate that, because those donations through PayPal go directly to the Scarefest Fund. That's right, I'm going to be at Scarefest in just 3 weeks. Lots of horror icons. Kane Hodder is going to be there. Felissa Rose is going to be there. Danielle Harris is going to be there. Richard Dreyfuss is going to be there. And so many more. Ken Foree. Oh my goodness, why am I blanking right now? The dude who played Martin in Martin. Not Martin Lawrence, not the TV show, but the movie, the George A. Romero movie. That's important. There's a Day of the Dead reunion, a Sleepaway Camp reunion, and almost every final girl from Friday the 13th is going to be there. The final girls from 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 are all going to be there. Plus Nick Castle, the original Shape, Mike Myers is going to be there. Jude Courtney's going to be there. I actually like him in the new movies, even though I don't like those new movies. But I like him in those movies, so it'd be cool to see him. Be cool to meet him. Doug Bradley's going to be there, the guy who played Pinhead. I've met Doug Bradley before, but it's been a while, and my picture I got of him is shitty, so I got to get a new one. So if anybody wants to help support that cause, send donations directly through PayPal to contact420@gmail.com. We've been nominated for 6 CBC Awards. Please go to cbcawards.org and vote for us. We're nominated for Favorite Channel, Best Collaboration for the Monthly Comic Book Review. Just had the latest episode on Thursday. Check that out. Great conversations. We were nominated for Best Hair and Beard, as well as Best Comic Book Review, Best Ongoing Series for the Weekly Comic Book Review, and Comic Book Community Channel of the Year. By the way, the Weekly Comic Book Review is going to be celebrating 7 years Non-stop, every week, even during the COVID shutdown, I never stopped. 7 years, every week, the weekly comic book review, a special live edition, Tuesday night. What time? Whenever I'm done reading the comics. Horror Fest continues this week with Tales from the Hood, the winner of the PCP Army Audience Choice Horror Fest 2023 poll. Thank you so much for picking this movie for Horror Fest 2023. It slaps. Blood Splatter Chatter is going to be live Thursday night talking about Deadstream for a Horror Fest, and then Dylan's Horror Show talking about the aforementioned David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. Dylan and the crew will be discussing that on Saturday night. All right, welcome back to the show. Let's take a look at the comments real quick. Thank you for pumping everybody up, Spillio. I really appreciate all the hell yes. How about this? I appreciate all the hell yes. Let's throw out a pop, pop, boom into the chat, everybody. If you're down and you're having a good time tonight and you've had a good weekend and you're loving life and you love comics and you love fiction and you love pop culture and you love philosophizing, throw out a pop, pop, boom. I want to see him just flood the chat, y'all. Come on. Let's do it. Hey, Stu from Dr. Doom's fan club. What is up, Stu? Stu's debut on PCP. And first time officially actually meeting me. It's going to be tomorrow night in a no pressure, high stressful live stream when we talk about Tales from the Hood. Stu, I'm so excited to have you on. Tomorrow on Instagram, you're going to get a rundown and a link. So just be on the lookout for that, my man. Excited to have you there. We got a great panel lined up for tomorrow night. I was talking about this last night. We had a great show on Dylan's Horror Show about Wishmaster. And I was saying, we've delivered already halfway through Horror Fest. We've delivered on the promise. This has been the biggest and most awesome fucking Horror Fest yet. Over 50 movies on over 30 shows talked about across 3 channels. Every stream's been dope. Every stream's been high energy. Every stream's had a very informative and insightful and entertaining and educational panel. And every movie has been worth watching. Even those shitty Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Good to see you here, Stu, though. Look at them pop, pop booms, man. Look at them pop, pop booms. It warms my heart, y'all. Hell yeah. What's up, Comics Embraced? What's up, Duffy? What's up, Jared? Oh. Nothing says, how long was your shop shut down during COVID? Were they still sending comics then? No, comics shut down. Like, there were no published comics, like, as far as actual printed physical artifacts, right? And my shop, we were only actually closed to the public for about a month, but we were working the entire time. We were doing curbside, we were doing delivery, and we were doing shipping, right? We were doing all that kind of stuff. So I was working the whole time. Obviously, most of the staff wasn't, but we had a skeleton crew that really got us through. Mike was one of those dudes, so station to Mike. But what I did was that I just was like, you know what? Digital comics are still going, so I went on Comixology every single week, and I bought everything I could, and I covered it. So you can go back to I guess it would be like March and April-ish of 2020, and you can see those reviews, those videos. Some weird picks of the week, but I also got to know a lot of books and creators that I would have never known otherwise, so it was actually really cool. But yeah, we kept it going nonstop all the way through. Nothing says last night's show was good, 5 blowies. That means you watched it, Nothing, and I really appreciate that. We got a new DHS bit from Perry. It was a great show. Oh, the good old days. That's when a lot of y'all showed up. That's when we started live streaming more, and that's where we really started a lot of the growth of this community was during the pandemic, during the shutdowns. When nobody had shit to do. And now a lot of the comic book YouTube community's kind of leveled out a little bit. And I know people that are like, trying to figure out what they can do to re-trigger their algorithm or whatever. And then other people going, it just seems like here's the secret to comic book YouTube. If you really want to have a successful channel and have a lot of subs, a lot of money, all that kind of shit. If you want to do that, don't do what I do. Don't do what most of us do. What you need to do is just shit on comics. Just talk shit about them. Say they suck. Say they're dying. And say they're all too political. And say at times you might want to put a big yellow woke in your thumbnail. Like woke go broke or some shit like that. And you'll have a successful YouTube comic book channel. If you want to have a successful channel, don't do what I do. Don't talk about good comics. Don't care about comics. Don't read comics. Oh, Transformers #1 this week, baby. You don't even know. I've read that thing like 12 fucking times, man. It's ridiculous. All right. Memphis Comic Expo. First thing we're going to do is share the pictures. So last week, went to the Memphis Comic Expo. This was my third or fourth one. Memphis Comic Expo is an interesting show. And I would encourage anybody to make the trip if it's feasible. And the reason why is this. There are no celebrities there. Not really. Like Jerry Lawler's there, but it's because he lives in Memphis. And he's always there. This was the first year I can remember that they even had voice actor guests. And it was only 4. And one of them was the original April O'Neil. Didn't get to meet her. But what they do in Memphis is that they have an incredible lineup every year of comic book writers, artists, creators, right? And there's always 1 or 2 of these people that will have long lines. This year, Kevin Eastman, Chris Bachalo. Anybody else, for the most part, can walk right on up, have a conversation. Last year, Mark Waid's just chilling, waiting for somebody to come talk to him. This year, Howard Chaykin's just waiting for people to come talk to him. Christopher Priest is just waiting for people to come talk to him. Garth Ennis is just waiting for people to come talk to him. Brian Pulido is just waiting for people to come and talk to him. So if you want to have access to some of the best creators in the history of this industry, check out Memphis Comic Con. Or Comic Expo, my bad. Here we go. That's me and Christopher Priest. So Christopher Priest did a really cool, fun thing where he didn't want to look up, hurt his neck or nothing, so he has a chair in front of him at the table. And when you go to meet Christopher Priest, you're going to sit down across from him, and he's going to have a conversation with you. So my conversation was about Black Panther in particular. How much, when I told him, when Marvel Knights came out, I read everything. And I was so freaking excited for Kevin Smith on Daredevil, Jay Lee on Inhumans. And I didn't even know who Christopher Priest was at this time, but I knew who Mark Teixeira was, and I was really, really excited for Tex to come on to Black Panther. And then the Bernie Wrights and Punisher was the other one, and we've already talked about that here on the channel. And I told him, all the books to me slapped, but yours was the one that had legs and continued, and now I would consider your book the best. You made me fall in love with T'Challa and his world, and you elevated that world like nobody else. He was very appreciative of these comments, and I told him how much I loved Everett K. Ross. And he said, my biggest disappointment with the Black Panther film is that Martin Reed did not want to play the character as jokey, so he played it way too seriously. And we were talking about the comparisons of Everett K. Ross in the comic to Michael J. Fox, especially and particularly from Spin City. And he said, everybody says that, but I'm going to tell you this. It's Matthew Perry from Friends. It's Chandler from Friends. Read that book again, and every line from Everett, read it as if Matthew Perry Chandler is reciting it and delivering it, and you'll get the voice in my head. Such a cool dude. Told him how I found Quantum and Woody afterwards. He goes, well, that book was before Black Panther. I was like, I know. Black Panther led me to Quantum and Woody. and your work is amazing. And I told him I loved the way he played with structure. Christopher Priest was dope as shit. All right, there's my friend Liana. Liana Kangas, just an absolute doll in this industry. She is one of the brightest spots in this industry. I love their work. I love what Liana does. I really like Liana's personality. I really like her as a person. We have tried for the last 2 years to bring her to the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, and unforeseen circumstances has ended it. Both of those years. But we are going to make it happen this year. So she will be at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. But it's always nice catching up with her. We had a nice chat about Gwar. And of course, I saw her a few times throughout the day. And she's just such a bright, shining spot in this industry. She is very talented, and she's just a very uplifting and positive person. And I'm proud to call her a friend. All right, there's the man himself, Garth fucking Ennis, y'all. I got to meet Garth Ennis. So Garth barely had a line. At times, maybe there was a line 4 people deep or something like that. But, I just walked right up to him and talked to him. My first interaction with him, actually, was when I was in the Chris Pachalo line with Nick and Eric. And he walked by me and Nick to go to the bathroom. And he's tall. He's tall, and he's definitely Scottish. Or is he Irish? He's definitely from over there. He was great. I had him sign a couple books. I told him how much Preacher meant to me as a teenager. I told him I was in the church. I told him that what others would have found as sacrilegious, I found to be filled with heart and honesty. And he really appreciated that, he said. I told him that I really miss Steve. And I told him that I thought Punisher Born was the absolute best Punisher story I have ever read. And he appreciated that, and he gave me some stuff that I can't tell you publicly. But if you want to know, just message me somewhere. If you got my, you can slide in my DMs and you can ask me, and I'll talk to you about it. Just don't share where you got it from. Garth Ennis was great though. That's me and Brian Pulido. Brian Pulido, of course, is the creator of Lady Death, Evil Ernie, Chaos Comics. When I met him, and y'all know me, and you know that I absolutely love and applaud. Indie creators, right? People that do their own thing and never sell out. And aside from a couple forays here and there, and I'm really kicking myself that I did not think to bring my Supernaturals comics from Marvel that we've covered here on the channel for him to sign, because that's when they brought him in to kind of do a mini series of some of Marvel's horror icons, and I love that fucking series, and I should have fucking brought that. But I got to meet Brian Pulido, and I told him, when I was growing up reading Wizard, you were in every issue. I always thought Lady Death was sexy. Evil Ernie seemed cool. I'm a big fan. I love that you've never sold out, that you're always doing it on your own. He said that was the only way he could do it, was on his own. And I told him how much Stephen Hughes was missed, obviously. But I really was trying to get some inside baseball. And I was like, so did you pay for that Wizard coverage? And he was like, nah, man, they just loved me. They liked me. So they called me pretty much every month. And I was always there, because why am I not going to advertise on the biggest comic book magazine like that? He's like, there wasn't YouTube. There wasn't the internet back then. It was Wizard. Wizard was the thing. So that's how he marketed himself. And he created a fucking empire, y'all. And regardless of what you think about those books, this dude is an icon to me in this industry. And I was so pleased to meet him. And there's me with my little Lady Death print that I got. We'll be showing that off. So then, those are the creators I met. But the best part of the experience was hanging out with some friends and some family. So that's my buddy Kevin right there on my shoulder. The lady on my shoulder is some random woman who wanted to get into her selfie and then later demanded the shirt off of Nick's back. So that was fun. That's Nick right there next to me as well. There's Mike behind me, and then there's Eric above the lady trying to steal the shirt off of Nick's back. This is on the outside of Huey's, which we looked up, and we were trying to find a place to eat, and I found a place that said they had the best burger in Memphis since 1984, and they had beer. So it was a no-brainer. That's where we went. And I got to meet our friend Eric right there. That one, Eric. Eric, first of all, you're a beautiful, handsome man. You're a kind and generous man. and you are a true and loyal friend, and I fucking love you. I had such a good time hanging out with Eric, getting to know him, talking to him about comics, having beers with him, sharing food with him, and just an absolute blast with this dude. Eric is part of the PCP Army Bad Batch, and he doesn't have his own like YouTube channel or show or anything like that, but he is a crucial part of this community. And Eric, I fucking love you, bro. And then, of course, Nick was there. Now, this was like, I met Nick before at Memphis last year, and I think I met you at Memphis one year, and no, I think I met you at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo last year first. You came in, you said what's up, we took some pictures, and you were done. And then I think I met you again at the Memphis show, you and your daughter, last year, but we just saw each other for like a brief moment. You came back for Huntsville Comic Expo this year with Manny and with Kirk. We had a great time. We hung out, but this was even a better time. It was more one-on-one, more FaceTime. Y'all got to meet Kevin. Y'all got to hear about the book. Did y'all get to see some images from the book that me and Kevin are working on? Because we showed them to Mike and a few other people that weekend, and they were loving it. But it is always a trip to hang out with Nick. I fucking love this dude. And we live too close to not see each other more often, Nick. But then there's another one of me and Eric, and Eric's like up in the Northern California area, and it's not going to be so easy for us to see each other. So I really appreciate you coming down to spend some time with me and Nick and Mike and Kevin and the gang over at the Memphis Comic Expo. And then without the photo bomb, there's Kevin, there's me, there's Nick, there's Mike, there's Eric, and this is outside of the restaurant, burgers and beers. And we stayed outside of that restaurant for like an hour just talking about, I mean, I cannot, it's what I live for, y'all. Talking fucking comics. It's what I live for. And with Eric, like with Kevin and Mike, I can talk comics. And there's a lot of people that like comics that, and this is no offense to anybody, but sometimes I try to talk to comics with people, and I understand, okay, I gotta bring myself up to this kind of level because they're not understanding all this stuff. With Nick and Eric, y'all are like Mike and Kevin, and even deeper. Like, y'all know what I'm fucking talking about. So when I'm talking about perspective, or I'm talking about the color theory, or I'm talking about structure, or I'm talking about true gnarly indies, and I'm talking about subversive transgressive comics, or we're talking about Kevin Eastman and Laird and the Turtles, we're talking about Frank Miller and Jack Kirby, we're talking about Atomo and shit like that. Y'all are like Mike, y'all are like Kevin, y'all are like Brian. We can have these conversations, and that's what I fucking love. Love it so much. All right, so here's the print that I got. I do not know the artist, but it's Lady Death. And I was like, so I met Brian Polito the first time with Nick. Nick was there. Eric was still in the long-ass Chris Bachalo. Where did the Chris Bachalo picture go? I thought I put that in there. Somehow I left out the Chris Bachalo picture, but I did meet Chris Bachalo as well. Somehow I left it out of there. Damn, ain't that a bitch? Well, let me tell you about this real quick. Chris Bachalo had a very long line because he talks a lot. Here's a pro tip. If you ever go to a con, plan some time if you want to meet Chris Bachalo, but plan to have the time of your life. They separated the line into two lines. Who just wants signatures? Who wants remarks? So Eric's in the remark line. Me and Nick are in the signature line. We're basically like the same. We're probably like 8-9 people deep. It took me and Nick an hour and a half to get through that line. It took Eric 4 hours to get through that line because he will spend time with everybody. If you're just getting a signature, you're still going to get like 10 to 15 minutes with this dude. If you're getting a remark, you're going to get like 30, 40, 50, maybe even an hour with this guy. Okay? Because Chris doesn't know what a remark is. So he has these things called doodles that you can get for $10. And I should have fucking got one. I really should have. I don't know why I didn't, but I would have gotten a cool umbrella in my thing, but I didn't. I didn't get the doodle because I didn't know what a doodle was. A doodle to Chris Bachalo is a remark for $10. A remark to Chris Bachalo for $75 is a fucking full-on commissioned piece of art. On its own piece of paper, Nick got a badass shade, the Changing Man. The dude that was ahead of me got like a Wolverine, and it was great. And he pencils it, he puts in the fine line, and then he starts like doing the thicker lines and the shading and shit. And it's just awesome to watch. And the entire time he's talking to you. He asked me how I got into comics. He asked me why I was into comics. He asked me about the shop. He asked me about the YouTube channel. I talked to him about why, I told him all the answers. I asked him how he got into comics. He told me I was always into monsters. I was at the shop one day. I was at a 7-Eleven or something, and I saw these comics with monsters on them. I grabbed them. Turns out it was Man-Thing and Swamp Thing. Fell in love. I told him Gen X, #1. Was fan ever since. Love your style. Love how it shifts and changes. This and that. We talked about why we're both into comics for so long, and we were both like saying it's the same thing. It's like there's nothing like this, like telling stories through art and words in this form. Nobody else does it this way. Movies, TV, novels, anything else, they're cool, they're great, but nothing's like comics, right? You get true to a vision in comics. So we had a chat about that. It was great. All right. Back to the haul. So I met Brian Pulido the first time, and then I was like, damn it, I didn't get a picture with him. I was like, I'm going to go back and buy a sexy a sexy Lady Death print, and I'm going to get a picture with him. So that's when I got the picture with him. I bought that, got him to sign it. There's his signature right there. But I actually really love this. I'm going to frame this and put this shit in the bedroom, y'all. That's for the bourgeois. All right. I got a toy. I only bought one toy. And by the way, everything I got was funded by the PCP Army. So thank you so much for the donations. But I collect superpower action figures, and I've never seen this one, but I got Mantis, one of the evil new gods from Apocalypse. Pretty clean version of Mantis that also did come with his comic book. So I got the comic and the Mantis figure. The toy dealer there gave me a really good deal on that. So I'm excited to add that to the collection. Now, as far as the evil new gods, I just need Calabac. Mr. Miracle and Orion I also need for the good new gods, but they're harder to find. All right, one of Liana's friends was there named Matt Emmons. He's part of, what is it, Second Rate at Best or something? Second at Best Press. And you can find his work on Instagram at Second at Best. And so I met him at Heroes Con. We hung out a little bit at the con, but we hung out a little bit at the bar. And Brian would keep talking about this dude, and I didn't really know. And then I'm walking down the aisle, and I see him, and we recognize each other. And I'm like, Matt? And he's like, Robbie? So we like hung out. We chatted for a moment. I got to introduce Nick and Eric to him. And I picked up 3 of his little comics that he does that are absolutely amazing. Got him to sign them. But these books are freaking fantastic. So go check him out. Second at Best Press. He's on IG. He's on all those socials. But this one's called Caretaker. Caretaker was good. I really like the Down Below one. But he does the art and he does the writing. But my favorite that I picked up from him was Those That Inherit the Earth. And Brian actually has a t-shirt with this image on it. But this book was fucking fantastic. I read them both at the hotel that night after getting them. But these are really cool, and I'm sure if you reach out to him, you can find his work. What we got next? All right, I got 3 things signed by Brian Pulido. The first thing I got signed, and Brian did something that I don't typically like, but, whatever. If you want to do it, do it. But he signed my trades on the cover, and I typically like the inside signed, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But I got my Lady Death Origins from Boundless. And I got that signed by Brian Pulido. I got my old school Chaos Comics trade paperback of Evil Ernie, Youth Gone Wild, signed by Brian Pulido right there. And then this one was cool because this is Evil Ernie, The Resurrection, which is like got a Lady Death appearance. And he signed that for me. And he said, I never see this one. So at least I brought him something that he doesn't see very regularly, and he was really cool and impressed that this came across his table. So that was cool. So when I met Chris Baccialo, I took one thing to get signed, and I got my Death. I got my Death trade paperback signed. And I'll show you the signature. He signed it on the inside. Right there. So that's Chris Bachalo right there. I do have a Chris Bachalo signed Uncanny X-Men #1 already that Nick Barucci of Dynamite sent me. So thank you, Nick, for that. But he was also selling, and I should have bought a doodle instead, but he was also selling these like little postcards and he would sign them. But I picked up the Moon Knight one because I thought that was fucking badass. So I picked up the Moon Knight one. So I did get 2 things signed by Chris Bachalo. Whenever I meet my friend Liana, I got to have her sign something. So I had her sign my Gwar, the Inorganic Fail. She did like a few pages in this, and she actually talked to me about how this was the only work of hers that she did on paper. Everything else she does is digital as far as comic book work. But this one she actually has physical copies of. She did this physically, and she was going page by page with me talking about it. We talked about her love of Gwar. We talked about how we got into Gwar. I told her it was because of my Beavis and Butthead game. She told me it was because, I can't remember. She was, I think her brother was into it or something. But anyway, so she was like, oh my God, I haven't seen one of these. She's like, I don't think I've seen one. She was looking through every page because I don't know if she's even seen this, or she hasn't seen it in a long time. But she was talking about her work in it, and she even told me that she was going to send me one of those original pages. So that's super fucking cool. Oh, and she signed it for me. Where's the signature? Boom, right there. Liana's the best. She's great. All right. Garth Ennis. Of course, I had to get Preacher signed. I don't own the individual issues. I used to have the original trade paperbacks, but I like these new ones, so I got these ones. I upgraded a while ago. And so I got him to sign it right there. To Robbie. Cheers. Garth Ennis. Preacher. Also, because I'm a mark for the Darkness. So I got my Darkness Origins trade paperback signed as well. This is like the first 5 or 6 issues of the Darkness. And he didn't give me a cheers or nothing. But he did sign it for me. By the way, I did meet Howard Chaykin as well. I didn't get anything signed for myself. I went all over the place looking for American Flag #1. Nobody had it. And just recently, actually, I'll show it on Show and Tell next week, but I picked up Black Kiss #1 just this week, like after meeting him. But I didn't have it. But my buddy had a reprint of Star Wars #1 signed, and I know, and when he gave it to me, I was like, bro, don't let me take this, man. Like, he's notorious for hating that book, shitting on it. And Howard Chaykin's kind of got this gruff personality, but it's also very humorous and fun and all in jest. And he was hilarious. He was right next to Christopher Priest. So, like, when you would go take a picture with Christopher Priest, Chris would just be like, come behind the table. Just walk behind Howard. Howard would be like, and no bumping. No bumping. But I took my buddy's Star Wars. Actually, Nick took his Star Wars first. And I don't think Nick had as good of a time with it as I did because I knew it was coming. And I thought I told Nick, like, he's going to shit on this book, bro. I'm pretty sure. Look, Nick, I'm pretty sure I told you that he was notorious for hating that book. But anyway, I had him sign it for my buddy. I gave him a couple extra bucks. And he was like, thank you for bringing this piece of shit comic. But he was fun. Before he signed our comics, though, Nick, he did say, it's very nice to meet you, seriously. So he was just fucking with this man. But I need to have him at a con again so I can feel comfortable asking for a picture by not bringing a Star Wars book. But now I got Black Kiss #1. So I didn't get American Flag, but I just got a collection in yesterday that had some really cool, gnarly, smutty books that I was looking for, and Black Kiss #1 was one of them. So that was fun. All right, and the final thing I got signed is when I met Christopher Priest. I got my Black Panther complete collection. Now, I used to have every issue of this, got rid of them a long time ago, and very thankful that Marvel has these complete collections out. His entire run was completed, but now these are out of print. But he signed it right there. To Robbie. Chris Priest, man. Oh, I cannot tell you how much meeting every single one of these creators meant to me. It was a dream come true to meet Christopher Priest and Garth Ennis. I was reading their books in high school, y'all. In high school, right? And like, I'm 42. So like, I've known these dudes for so long. Christopher Priest, Garth Ennis, Brian Pulido. Like, I don't know, man. It just means so much. And to have friends in the industry like Liana and now Matt. And of course we saw Kelly Williams. He's got some exciting projects coming up. And I talked about bringing him onto the channel. We got to talk to Kyle Starks. I got to tell him that we talk about him often on the monthly comic book review, and he was doing a great job. And then his daughter was right there, and he's like, thank you for saying that in front of my daughter. So it was pretty freaking cool. It was really, really dope. Let me take a look at the chat. All right, here we go. Nick says, Comic Culture 2024, nothing but trash in comics and making fun of creators and speculation news. Sounds good to me, bro. Jerry Lawler looking for that easy payday. Clayton, he's there every year, and I've never actually met him. I need to do that before I regret it. Before I regret not doing it, right? You got to meet Jerry Lawler. And I didn't even like know him as a wrestler as much as I just knew him as the commentator next to, was it Jim Ross, right? Like back in the Attitude Era, I fucking loved them. I thought they were great. It's been great revisiting these fucking WrestleManias, Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. I forgot how much I love those two together. Eric says, Marvel Knights got me relapsed in comics after a lapse. That era was awesome. Oh, fuck yeah, Eric. It was great. It really did. Like, and like Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti, friend of the show, what they did, which was bring indie creators to Marvel. That's all they fucking did. They brought indie creators to Marvel and they said, tell a story. And we're not going to interfere. And Marvel Knights changed comics because Joe Quesada became editor-in-chief, and him and Bill Jemas had that same mentality. Let's bring indie creators in to do Marvel Comics and let them do what they fucking want. And that's why we still have the lasting legacy of like Pete Milligan and Mike Allred on X-Force, Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely on New X-Men, Garth Ennis on Punisher. Come on, y'all. And they were so quick to course correct with Marvel Knights. When they did that first Punisher series with Tom Sanowski and Christopher Golden, I believe, and Bernie Wrightson and Jimmy Palmiotti. 4 issues, didn't work. Then they got Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. They were like, 4 issues? Okay, that didn't work. How can we rethink this? Oh, that's what we need to do. Get the team of Preacher and Hellblazer on the fucking book. God damn it. I like Priest's run on Amazing Spider-Man Gang War. Yeah, back when it was Jim Owsley, right? Spilio says, Christopher Priest's Deathstroke run is freaking phenomenal. Comic Culture says, Garth was cooler in the elevator. Yeah, I hear that. Don't worry, I had an elevator ride with Luis and Walt Simonson, so we're even. It's all good. You weird stretch lady, no shit. Burgers and beer for the win. Eric says, that was a hell of a weekend, a blur of awesomeness. Oh, thank you, Stu. Yeah, it was uncensored, comic-loving conversation. Fuck yeah. Hey, what's up, Papa? Eric says, Bachalo was the most gracious, humble, and giving dude. So worth it. Nick says, yeah, I should have gotten the doodle. Me too. What's up, Papa Ken? Happy October 1st to you. TV movie called Midnight Hour. Yeah, I've never heard of that. I have to check it out. Ghost Rider 2099, first arc was killer Bachalo art. Tell you what, Stu, that book is an underappreciated classic as far as art goes. Ashley Wood, early Ashley Wood art is at the end of that series. It's phenomenal. I definitely have to put together that entire run. I passed up on it about a year ago, and I should have gotten it. What's up, Big B Mafly? Comic Culture says, Matt was a cool dude. Thanks for introducing us. You're welcome. Anissa, what is up? Good to see you here. Eric says, those Matt Emmons minis were fantastic. I'm following that dude's new stuff moving forward. Absolutely. Chris from Losty Comics is here in the house. What is up, my man? Oh, yeah, and everybody say happy belated birthday to Eric, the Stash. I didn't set you up for failure. Hi, kitty. How are you doing? Nick says, oh, F that. I'm bringing Star Wars 2 next time. Fuck yeah. I will be watching Loki Season 2. What's up, Chill Out, man? Thank you for joining us last night. What's up, Taki? What's up, Sean420? Pizza and beer, baby. Burgers and beer's good. Pizza and beer's even maybe the same or better. Today's been hot dogs and beers, baby. I have not watched The Boys Gen V yet. Is it out? I need to watch it then. Yeah, absolutely, Clayton. Comics Embrace says, I live in Kentucky. I'm going to have to check out Memphis. Yes, please do, because it is so fucking good. Preston says, Priest is also doing the current Vampirella run. Absolutely. I met some Dynamite family. Garth Ennis, of course, creator of The Boys, co-creator. Brian Polito, who a lot of his Chaos comics are licensed now through Dynamite. And Christopher Priest, who's been doing work on Vampirella. Fable says, I'm so glad you got to hang out with Nick and E. They've been some of my best friends for the last 2 years. I knew I loved Nick, but now I love Eric. Oh, and the other thing, Eric paid for everybody's beer and burgers on that Saturday night. He bought the entire. He took care of the entire check. Everybody, just so you know, that's how fucking awesome Eric is. So y'all show Eric some love, because he didn't just buy my beers and burgers, but he bought Nick's, Kevin's, and Mike's, and even his own. So there you go. Pizza or chicken, they both taste okay cold. I would choose cold pizza over cold chicken, but I know what you're talking about. Sometimes you got some wings left over, and you're like, fuck it. And you just eat them cold, and they still rock. Still rock. Yeah, Eric took care of us. So that was the Memphis Comic Hall. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, the DC sneak peek. And DC in the 90s, everybody. It's going to be a great, great show.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've
Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Live.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers. In fact, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live. We've had a great time already tonight. We talked about my experience at the Memphis Comic Expo with a little bit of a show-off of the haul that I got and a recounting of everything of all the events of the weekend. Great stuff. And yes, Eric paid for the entire meal for everybody. And Eric says, little do they know, I was doing dishes at Huey's all night long paying off that bill. Well, at least you were at the right Huey's. That's a whole other conversation. By the way, the only reason that we had this like hour-long conversation when we were leaving the bar, and the only reason why it was only an hour long was because my weed vape was running out of juice and I needed to go back to the room to recharge it. All right. Also, the week after, I'm frantically searching for anything that Howard Chaykin did that he would actually enjoy signing. And into the shop comes Black Kiss #1. I can't show you the inside of this book. But next time, Howie. Next time, baby. Next time. All right. Check us out on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you want to help support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/PCP like that, like these great PCP patrons right there, or with the Super Chat. However, we're taking donations right now for my trip to Scarefest. If you want to get that money directly to me, because Super Chats I won't get till November, but if you want to get that money to me directly before Scarefest, you can send PayPal donations to contact420@gmail.com. It's pinned up at the top of the chat, and we appreciate all of it. And if you do donate through PayPal, please let me know so I can look, we can celebrate with a Hellboy song. We already had some love from Brittany and Spilio, so thank you all so much. But all the support we need is a like, a share, and participating in the conversation and subscribing and all that jazz. Let people know this is the place to be if you're ready to talk about comics, movies, pop culture, and more on Pop Culture Philosophers. Here, coming up, the DC sneak peek and DC in the 90s, show and tell, and maybe a few more surprises. You never know. All right, this week, we're in the midst of Horror Fest right now, so tomorrow night, the PCP Army Audience Choice winner, Tales from the Hood. Tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night, 8 p.m. Central Time. On Blood Splatter Chatter, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, Deadstream. On Dylan's Horror Show, the David Gordon Green Halloween Trilogy, Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. That's 8 p.m. Central Time. We're right in the middle of Horror Fest, and it's the biggest and baddest. We promised you it'd be the biggest and baddest and bestest Horror Fest of all, and we've delivered. We've been nominated for 6 CBC Awards. Please go to cbcawards.org and vote for us for favorite channel. Best collaboration with the monthly comic book review. Just had a new episode drop last Thursday. Check that out if you missed it. Best hair and beard. Best comic book review. Best ongoing series with the weekly comic book review. And the weekly comic book review is celebrating 7 years nonstop this Tuesday with a special live stream edition. Also nominate or vote for us for Comic Book Community Channel of the Year. We now pause for station identification. Everybody throw out station right now. All right, and Mike is in the house, says, long story short, I drove to the wrong Hueys. To make that long story, or to make that short version of a long story slightly longer, after he was like, make sure you told Nick the right fucking Hueys. Like, first of all, like, I'm an idiot, and I'm not going to tell fucking Nick the right Hueys to go to. And also that Nick's an idiot and not going to go to the right Hueys. And guess who drove to the wrong Hueys, everybody? Just guess. Thank you for all the stations, everybody out there in the chat. Hell yeah. We're kicking it. All right. There are new comics out this week. Believe it or not, DC is releasing new comics this week on Tuesday, October 3rd. I've already read the ones I wanted to read. Here's what I thought. It's time for your DC sneak peek. And yes, Mike is the best because the whole weekend wouldn't have happened as well without Mike. So Mike, thank you so much. As much shit as I give you, I love Mike, and he is one of the best people in my life, and I am truly honored and privileged to know that loyal and beautiful man. All right, DC's Ghouls Just Want to Have Fun. So this is one of those seasonal $10 anthologies from DC Comics with a bunch of different creators coming in doing short stories with some of your favorite characters for a seasonal venture. Usually it's Thanksgiving, or maybe it's Christmas, or maybe it's Valentine's Day, or maybe it's back to school or a swimsuit special. This time it's the Halloween special. And I read it, and it's all right. It's nothing to write home to mom about. The first story has artwork by Tyler Crook. It's The Question, Renee Montoya's Question. I like that probably the best. There was a Kenny Porter, Riley Rosmo Green Lantern story that was all right, that focused on the demon as well. An Animal Man, more of an Animal Girl story by Michael W. Conrad and Christopher Mitten, that was all right. Nightwing by Christopher Bean and Linnea and Dexter Soy. The artwork in that was cool, but the story was kind of stilted. I didn't really get where we were going with that. There's a Superman story that's decent with artwork by Javier Rodriguez. A Man story that's actually pretty good. A Crush and Lobo story that was okay. And a Man-Bat story that was decent. But all in all, not worth $10 to me. So like if you have nothing else to pick up and you're just that much of a sucker for DC Halloween short stories, go for it. But otherwise, you can skip that one. We got Blue Beetle #2. This is the same team from the Blue Beetle Graduation Day mini-series. I didn't finish that mini-series, but I read issue 1 of this, and I liked the energy of the artwork. I liked the vibe and pace of the story, and I liked how I didn't feel like I was missing anything. And this one, I started feeling a little bit more lost because they're really doing a lot of text exposition dumps to like catch you up, and it kind of hinders it a little bit. But then the whole last third of this book is just a very scintillating, dynamically paced action sequence that I liked. Though it does give me vibes of Power Rangers and Radiant Black, I think the Blue Beetle book is pretty solid right now. Birds of Prey issue #2. My biggest disappointment from DC this week. I liked issue #1 enough, but I had a problem with what I thought was the printing. And I asked everybody, does it feel muddy, fuzzy to you? Is it bad printing? Then I went and I actually read this issue about a month ago digitally. And it came through, like that fuzziness to it. And it's worse in print. It is so, this book looks terrible. It can't be the printing, especially not with it showing up on a digital PDF file like that. It's the color choices by Jordi Belair. Jordi Belair was one of my favorite colorists in this industry for a long time. And now between this and Blade, what the fuck, Jordy? Are you just trying things? But the thing is this. I think that this coloring, I like the choices. I think that they would work. I don't think that it prints right. But then again, on the digital, and the digital's not as bad as the print. The print on this looks freaking terrible. I don't think this is coming across. It probably looks fine there. I like the choices. I like the palette. But there is something about it that is not printing right, and it's not even coming across on the digital copies right. That is just so off whack with this. Story's fine. Line art is fine. Color choices and the palette are fine. But the way that those, I don't know, but the way those levels are brought down or pumped up, like there's something about those levels. It's not printing right at all. It looks terrible. Looks terrible. Peacemaker Tries Hard, issue number 6. This is the final issue of the series. Kyle Starks has done it again. A great, fun, not taking itself too seriously book, but at the same time, giving us charm, giving us heart, giving us a little bit of nuance. What a fantastic ending. It is irreverent, it is crude, it is rude, but at the same time, it's got this core of a human thread to it that I absolutely love, and that's how you print color on a comic. So there you go. Poison Ivy, issue number 15. Really liking what G. Willow Wilson's been doing with the pages of Poison Ivy. At first, I thought that they were treading the line too much about hero or villain, but it actually is working for me. It's all ironed out. The artwork by Mariko Takara, this is some of her best artwork on this series yet. Just look at that Killer Croc. Looking good, printing good, really solid story, really interesting subtextual elements to it. Poison Ivy is one of my favorite books of DC, and who would have ever thought that? 14 issues, 15 issues in? That's ridiculous. Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville, issue number 2. This is written by, well, let's find the title. It's Bustos is the penciler. Where the hell did they put the... Let me get through this big Sandman preview at the end. There we go. It's Joanne Starrer on the script, Natasha Bustos, and Tamara Bonvillain. The coloring works, the vibe works, the pacing works. This is a book that's very humorous. It's taking a lot of cues from the work that J.M. DeMatteis and Keith Giffen and Jerry Maguire did on Justice League back in the day. Fire and Ice, 2 underutilized DC heroes, but I like them. I like this dynamic that they're brewing, this conflict between the two of them. I like the clear line work. I love the bold coloring by Tamara Bonvillain, but not going super, super bold, but also being very grounded and down to earth and really just setting up some interesting stuff. A book that's not taking itself too seriously doesn't mean it's not a book we shouldn't take seriously. Shazam number 4. Earlier tonight, I asked the question, who should do the new Justice League ongoing series whenever DC decides to bring it back? I picked Mark Waid and Dan Mora. This book is a good reason why. Shazam is absolutely fantastic. They've also been killing it over at World's Finest. But this Shazam book, issue 4, has been my favorite of this series yet. There's a lot of playfulness to it, but a lot of weight and gravity that's given this story. Basically, the gods that give Shazam his powers, right? Like the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, and Zeus, and all those other ones, right? They're all taking turns trying to manipulate the captain. That's what they call him now, which I think is stupid as fuck, by the way. They should just call him Shazam or Captain Marvel. Like, fuck it, right? Who cares if there's a Carol Danvers movie? Just call him fucking Captain Marvel. That's the name of the character. The captain, that's fucking stupid. That's some, Steve Rogers, giving up on the American dream type shit, which happened. I get it. I know, but that's some of that bullshit. Anyway, artwork is great, really cool. It has a playfulness to it, but it still has a little bit of a serious weight. Shazam number 4, my favorite issue of this new Shazam series yet. I loved it. And then we got Batman 138. I read this about a month ago, and I talked about it. In fact, on my weekly comic book review with Catwoman and even the Red Hood tie-in, I was like, man, I'm kind of confused about where things are taking place and happening. It was because I read this one already before I read those 2 books. This is a great issue. Batman is really off his rocker, but at the same time, the Bat family's off their rocker as well. Catwoman's trying to get the Bat family to go along with allowing certain crimes of just petty theft or theft against like rich people. Catwoman Selina is trying to convince the Bat family, and mostly successful in convincing the Bat family, to just turn a blind eye to that because she's keeping violent crime down. But Batman, first of all, wouldn't be cool with that if he wasn't possessed by a multiverse of Zur-En-Ars. But he is possessed by a multiverse of Zur-En-Ars, so he's doing some fucked up shit to Dick, Tim, Jason, and Damian. He is fucking up bad time right here. Plus, he's got that fucking robot hand now, and he's just fucking killing it. This was a great issue of Batman with highly, highly energetic artwork from Jorge Jimenez. All right. Special bonus. An Image sneak peek. Y'all, I've already looked at the list. I've already read a lot of books that come out this week. I don't think anything's going to top this. I think this is going to be your pick of the week. Let it be known right now, right here. Transformers #1. Big fucking deal. Not only is it the relaunch of Transformers, now under Skybound at Image, spearheaded by Robert Kirkman, but this issue is written and illustrated by Daniel Warren Johnson, who is one of the absolute best creatives in the industry right now. I've been talking about this book for a while. I got to read this book like 2 or 3 months ago, and I've read it so many times since, and now I have the physical thing in my hand, and I've read it a couple times since. Y'all are not prepared. Old school Transformer fans, hardcore Transformers fans, you out there, Fable, you're not prepared for this book. I showed it to some of my employees this week when it came in, and this was the reaction I got from people. What the fuck? No way. Oh, this art's badass. Who are these humans? Why do I care about them? No fucking way. And then I'd go, look at the last panel. And they go, oh shit. And then they go, this is for kids? This is a Transformers book reigniting the franchise, reimagining the lore. This is what Daniel and what Robert told me. We have the core mythology from the cartoon and from the comic book. That's our spine, but we're playing with that shit. And this is a true, almost indie kind of feeling Transformers book. This doesn't feel like a mainstream title. It feels like Robert Kirkman said, Daniel Warren Johnson, do Daniel Warren Johnson. And that's what he did. And it's only going to be better. I can show you a couple pages, Alfred, but only stuff that's already been shown, which is going to be more of the boring stuff. I can't really show you any of the truly gnarly bits right now, but I'm going to tell you this. That's the last pages that I can show you. This shit is awesome. I can't show you anything else like that page right there where Starscream shows up. I can't show you that. Well, I definitely can't show you those pages. You know what? I can't even show you that little panel right there of Optimus Prime clotheslining Starscream. Anyway, we're moving on from that. So to recap, Ghouls just want to have fun. Skippable for the most part. Blue Beetle, there's something about this I really like. Birds of Prey, I like a lot of it, but it prints bad. It just looks terrible. Peacemaker tries hard. An excellent conclusion to this series that was silly and fun, but very much filled with heart and nuance. Poison Ivy, it's one of my favorite DC books. Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville, doesn't take itself too seriously, neither should you. Shazam, issue number 4, the best of this series so far. Batman continues to crank up the intensity of the Batman Catwoman Gotham War. But your pick of the week's going to be an Image book, y'all. And it's going to be Transformers. And I'm telling y'all. I'm fucking telling y'all. You're not going to believe this shit. It's so good. Colors by Mike Spicer. Russ Wooten on the lettering. That has been your DC and Pick of the Week sneak peek. Yeah, Alfred says the art does look good. Here's the thing about the art. I know it's only going to get better because I've seen images from the next couple issues as well. I haven't read the whole things or anything, but I've seen images. And Daniel was talking about how his style with the blockiness and the geometrical structure of the Transformers was it was difficult at first. And you can see that a little bit in the first issue where it doesn't fully work 100%. But he is more than comfortable with it now, with where he's at. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. Pick of the week, Transformers. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've pretty much read everything but Marvel. And I don't think there's a Marvel book this week that's going to top that. Is it good for someone who has no Transformers history? Yes, that's what's so beautiful about it. This Transformers book works. This Transformers book works for old fans and for new fans or unfans. It works 100%. They know the mythology. They get to take that spine and play with it and develop their own thing and know that certain things are maybe approaching in the future and build to it. And I'm going to tell you this. You're not even going to be halfway through this book when you realize how different this Transformers is going to be. I'm not trying to overhype it, but that shit is fucking awesome, okay? Y'all are going to fucking love it. Fable says, I saw the spoiler cover, so I think I know, but I'm so freaking happy right now. Can you imagine the toys? Here's the thing. Even if you see the spoiler cover, you don't really fully, nah. If you saw the spoiler cover, I'm sorry, Fable. You should not have had that spoiled for you. You should not have at all, because that's a spoiler. But you don't know, bro. You just wait. Oh, it's going to be so good. Oh, it's definitely PG-13-ish. I mean, you can do whatever to a robot. Eric says, I've never been a big Transformers fan, and I am hyped. DWJ can do no wrong. How am I able to get issues a month early? I'm a retailer, so a lot of the times they'll send us a PDF before FOC, so we get to read the book before we order it. As far as G.I. Joe and Transformers, the Transformers in particular, I was on a conference call with Robert Kirkman and Daniel Warren Johnson, and after that conference call, they gave us a PDF of the first issue, and that was like 2 months ago, something like that. But it's their efforts to reach out to retailers and hook us up, and that's what I do. Gotham War has got me interested. Yeah, it's been pretty good. They don't want to use the name Captain Marvel because of the Marvel book, Captain Marvel. Marvel snagged the rights to the title publication, but they can still call that dude Captain Marvel if they want to. They just choose not to. What's up, Rogue? How you doing? Yeah, but DC never had the rights to have a book called Captain Marvel. It was always Shazam. Because Marvel stepped in at the right moment and some shit like that. Toy Shell says, what a book. Action, action, action. He can draw humans, cars, robots. It's the whole deal. Yes. I hope y'all liked the little tease that I gave you there, because I'm telling y'all this. I take my pick of the week very seriously. I take my thoughts on comics very seriously, and even my thoughts on movies, even though I'm not a fucking authority. Transformers is fucking dope. And I think even non-Transformers fans will find something to enjoy in this book. Hell yeah. You could do whatever to a robot. All right. Speaking of DC, it's time to go back. How far back in time? To the 90s. And it's time for your next edition, where we're covering an issue from the triangle years of Superman by popular demand. And this is the first one I wanted to pick because this one is a book that I bring up, and I brought it up to Nick and Eric. And a lot of people don't remember that this happened. But it happened to me. Not the events of this issue don't happen to me. Anyway, this book came out in like 1993, I believe, maybe 94. I'm like 12, 13 years old, probably 12, probably 93. Let's see. From 1993, it's time for DC in the 90s. Today we're talking about Superman number 84. Superman number 84 is pretty significant because it really tries to elevate the Toy Man as a very real threat. And as you can tell by the cover, they're threatening child murder in this book. All right, so this is written and illustrated by Dan Jurgens. The inking is done by Joe Rubinstein. Lettering by John Costanza. Glenn Whitmore as the colorist. Everybody's working at top-notch pace here. For the most part, it's the printing where most of my issues technically come from. But let's get into the story. Toy Man's got a new look. They've been building up into this. This is very shortly after the death and return of Superman. Superman died in Superman number 75. This is issue number 84. So this is about a year later. He's been back for a couple months, and all of the Superman titles are rebuilding these story threads. Dan Jurgens is trying to hit us with a big whomper here in 1993. So Toy Man is kidnapping children. He's keeping them in this little toy jail, and he's just wanting to play with these kids. But the kids want to go back to their parents. The Toy Man's like, no, your parents are the ones who ruined it. Their world is terrible, right? And in their world, people die. So we get this bit of these action figures, one of them killing the other, right? With all these news articles of the missing children. It's very creepy panel right there of Toy Man. He's captured these kids. He just wants to play with them. Meanwhile, Superman, who's just recently back from the dead, recovering, finding new energy and new power, and even a new mullet is there. And there's a ship that is washed along the Florida shore because of a storm or something like that. Very powerful artwork at times from Dan Jurgens. I know he's been criticized to not being able to fully utilize the full aspect of the perspective and strength needed for Superman, but there are moments where it works. But he's towing this like ship out. He's talking about how it's too heavy, but now it's not. It actually feels lighter than it should. And then there's a really nice bit where he's anchoring it back down. He's got all these chains, and he says, it's probably a good thing it was too dark to take pictures down here. If I bury this between the red cape and the chains, the press might have decided, let me start this all over. He's burying the anchor deep into the ocean. He says, probably a good thing it was too dark to take pictures. Between the red cape and chains, the press might think I've decided to spawn another look. So obviously, are they trying to make fun of Spawn, or are they trying to be like, yeah, Spawn, we see what you're doing? But Superman, by the way, while he's down there, he discovers this like sunken ship with a treasure chest, and he talks about how he's rich, but then he's like, no, I'm going to take this to a museum. It'd be nice if I was rich, though. These are wasted pages. This is an issue that's supposed to hit very freaking hard, right? But it does waste some moments with shit like this. But then he goes and he finds Lois. He wakes her up and he goes, hey, get ready for dinner. Wear your best evening dress. She goes, Smallville, are you crazy? It's breakfast time. He goes, not in Paris. So then they dress up and he's going to fly her to Paris for a nice romantic dinner. Meanwhile, Cat Grant, reporter at the Daily Planet, has taken her son to a Halloween costume contest. And this is why we're doing it, William. Yeah, it is Marvel or DC in the 70s with horror maybe, but it's 90s because it takes place on Halloween. So she takes her kid Adam to this Halloween party. He's dressed as Superboy. Jimmy Olsen is there dressed as Turtle Boy. And the kid's just throwing a lot of lip and attitude and whatnot. And Cat Grant's like, well, you know, me and his dad just divorced. I had a drinking problem. He's gone through a lot of shit. Meanwhile, this dude in a dinosaur costume finds Adam, says, yo, if you think this is lame, I got some video games back here. And he's like, well, maybe I should check on my mom. He's like, no, I'll let her know that you're with me. And then Cat and Jimmy cannot find him. Meanwhile, in Paris, Clark Kent had a mullet as Superman. He had a really obnoxious 90s ponytail as Clark Kent, by the way. So they're in Paris having a romantic dinner, and he's saying, you know, ever since I came back from the dead, I'm really trying not to waste opportunities and spend time with those that I love, including you. So everything is cut off. Superman and Lois are having a nice romantic dinner in Paris. Meanwhile, they can't find Cat Grant's kid, Adam, and they're starting to worry. And the dinosaur dude was not part of the staff. Jimmy finds this out. Cat calls the police. Meanwhile, we find out that Toyman has kidnapped Adam. He's bringing him to his secret lair where he has all these other kids tied up. Now, if you look at the art, there's got to be a Mike Mignola influence here. Now, I know we're in 1993. So Hellboy's just starting. We're just seeing this kind of stuff. But I see some Mike Mignola isms on this page. But I also think it might be a direct influence from Batman the Animated Series with Mr. Freeze in particular. The way that the Batman Animated Series did Mr. Freeze, I think Dan Jurgens thought, I'm going to do this with Toyman. I'm bringing it to the 90s. I'm going to make it darker. I'm going to make it more relevant. I'm going to make it hit harder. So Adam finds out that there are other kids there. They're like, please let us out. While Toyman is distracted, he grabs a screwdriver and tries to break out the kids, but the Toyman hears them and realizes what's going on. So they start running away to escape. They think they get the upper hand on the Toyman, but the Toyman grabs Adam, Cat Grant's kid, and I'm assuming slashes his throat. So then we get two very powerful pages, in my opinion, that really affected me when I was a kid reading this. And this is a double page on the printed edition, but you get Cat Grant at the Daily Planet, and Detective Turpin shows up with a priest. So she goes and she has to identify the body at the morgue. She sees her son. They black out his face, but you can see the yellow hair. You see her reaction, very real. Unfortunately, I've had some tragedy in my life, so this is a very real response from a mother about the death of her son. I can attest to that. Then you get the headline, Missing Children Found Dead. He killed them all. Toyman killed all of them. Superman and Lois show back up, excited to see how everybody's doing and what's going on. And Jimmy's at an 11. Perry says, easy, Jimmy, they didn't know. And he's like, where were you? We tried calling you. Adam's dead. He's been murdered. Where was Superman? We couldn't find him. And now Clark is riddled with guilt. That is Superman 84. So here's my copy from when I was a child. Right there, y'all. Superman 84. Cover tells you everything you need to know. Now, I do believe that at the time they thought they were trying to make a very powerful and important book. And one of the things going on in the early 90s, love that Addams Family Values poster, by the way, ad. One of the things that was going on in the early 90s was the whole, where are your children at? You know, like this whole like nervousness and fear of like kids being out on their own. And it's playing up to that. And it's also, I do think that they're trying to make Toyman, they're trying to elevate him the way the animated series did with Mr. Freeze. You got some nice bits. It doesn't have a bad read. It actually is a very breezy read. You go right through it. Even the cheesy stuff with Superman, like finding this treasure chest and then being like, oh, I'm rich. Huh? Just kidding. I could never keep this. I'm going to take it to a museum. But then he goes on this date with Lois. And I like the idea, too, in this story that he's trying to finally do something selfish. Superman's just recently back from the dead, right? So I like the idea that, no, I want to spend more time with my loved ones, but at the same time, he misses something very important. Look at that fucking ad. That's dope. Looney Tunes video games, Christmas tree ad. So while they're off having this romantic excursion in Paris, ignoring his responsibilities, one could argue, but at the same time, Superman does deserve breaks, and you can't stop them all, but it happens to hit a very powerful subject, someone very close to him, very close to home. And I do find it actually shocking that they did it. Now, they didn't show it, but the way they did it I thought was a little bit classy. And there's the 2-page spread right there. This just hits. Even when I read it today, it really, really fucking hits. And then a very abrupt ending, and it does set up a confrontation in the next issue of Superman, where he goes after Toyman, because now, here's the thing, we're dealing with the rise of Image in 1993. The only way to boost sales on this book was to kill Superman. What do? We can kill a kid, We can have the story about child abduction and child murder. We can elevate the toy man into a murderer. And that's what they do. And I remember being a kid and loving this book, like being like shocked that Superman was this fucking hardcore. And the next issue we'll talk about next time we do our favorite show, DC in the 90s. All right, there you go. Let's take a look at the chat. I see OUG in the house. What's up, Carrie? How you doing? Station. Yeah, Joe Burrow's $300 million contract not looking so good. Is Transformers the smell of the week? Image had 2 weeks where they smelled really good. Then something else happened. Oh, it does smell really good, though. It does smell really good. Now, there are other covers I think I like better than this one. I think there's a Francis Manipool cover I really like, but this is the cover I'm getting. And yeah, I am buying these Transformers books and I personally ordered very heavy, so they shouldn't be rare. And if you can't find one, let me know because we will have plenty at my shop. No Sacrificers. Yo, I am reading Sacrificers. It was a great issue yet again, but that will be covered on Tuesday for the weekly comic book review. Hip Hop Happens says, Robbie, when do you remember comics starting to disappear from the newsstand corner store? I remember picking up Clone Saga and Azrael Batman off the rack, but then comics weren't visible all of a sudden. Around that time, too. It was like the 94, 95 when I stopped seeing them there. Chill Out Man says he still has his mullet haircut. Surprised Soups didn't grab breakfast and eat in Lois's apartment. No, he flew her ass to Paris. Fucking her hair up and everything. Damn, I just hooked you. If you got an extra spoiler, holler at you. Come on, Fable. You're days away. You're days away. All right, Fable, I'm glad you're here because we're about to do show and tell. And the first couple things I'm glad you're here for because I haven't bought toys in a long time. I took some stuff up to the shop, traded it in to Mike. He gave me some store credit. I got some toys. So going along with the theme of the night, I got this Jazz from Transformers Legacy Evolution. This is the unproduced design for G2 Jazz, where he's like this gaudy neon orange. So I am very, very pumped to have this. I am a sucker for all things G2, especially this unpublished one, because I've seen this artwork before. So I'm glad I have that. So there you go. G2 Jazz. And then another Transformer I got. Is it Cloud Seeker? Cloud Cover, an unproduced G2 Seeker. I am a sucker for the Seekers. All you have to do is slap a new coat of paint on one of these jets. One of these Decepticons jets. You just put some new paint on it. And I'm a sucker for it. So I got Cloud Cover from Transformers. Oh, excuse me. And that's unproduced G2 Universe, I believe. Fable can correct me if I'm wrong. And it's Horror Fest. So I'm collecting the horror NECAs. And I got my Bride of Frankenstein finally. So great box art. I love the NECA figures. The packaging is some of the best. And I love the window where we get to see the actual figure in there. How dope is that, y'all? If it would zoom. So pretty dope. Very excited to have that in my collection. And that is a very brief and short show and tell. Because we did the whole Memphis thing, right? Yeah, we did the whole Memphis thing. But now it's time for your very own Final Five. All right, we got this pack of Mark Spears monster cards. Next up, we got He Awakes. Looks like Dracula, black and white, in his coffin. We got the old school cardboard card for the Monster Slayer. Pretty dope card. I love the old school aesthetic there. Another one of those for Dracula. Fear Me, this card is called. We're just going to run through the rest of this. The Howling. So a werewolf, the wolf man, if you will, with a victim. Grimalkin and the witch, so the witch character. Very classic looking. The Smiling Phantom, Phantom of the Opera, basically. Monsters Attack. Cool group shot right there. I do not like how the logo is kind of covering up those dudes, though. That's not cool. The Malefetter, or something like that, is basically his Jason Hatchet character. The Great Houdini. Oh, this is dope. The Mad Hatter. Look at that. It Lives. Dr. Frankenstein awakening the monster. About to feed. Dracula about to feed on a beautiful woman there. Oh, look, the Fear Me card. But it's the regular edition. So to show you the difference. One's got the border, but they're also like, these special editions are printed like, they look like cards from the 80s in those wax packs, you know? Alucard. Oh, this one's dope. Tobar, which is robot spelled backwards, but that's pretty fucking dope. Looks like something from, what was that Vault book? By Paul Allure. Oh, I cannot think of the name right now. Y'all know what I'm talking about with the red pink skull dude. Hollow Hearts or something like that? Something like that, I think. Hollow Heart? Anyway, that has been your Final Five. All right, we really do appreciate everybody being here for the Memphis Comic Expo wrap-up, for the DC sneak peek, for the show and tell, for the DC in the 90s, all that stuff. We really do appreciate it. This has been a great week. Join us this week, though. The fun does not end. And you can still, if you want to, donate to the Scarefest Fund. You can do that through PayPal. Contact 420@gmail.com. You can do that anytime, and we will always appreciate it. However, all the support we need is you being here. Tomorrow night, Horror Fest on PCP Movie Night, 8 p.m. Central Time, Tales from the Hood. Blood Splatter Chatter, Deadstream, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Dylan's Horror Show, the Halloween David Gordon Green Trilogy on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. We're in the middle of Horror Fest. It's great. Don't forget to vote for the CBC Awards. On behalf of everybody here at Pop Culture Philosophers, I am Rockin Robbie Billups. Station Pop Pop Boo. Get it? Because it's Halloween time. And how about them fucking Cowboys? How about them? How about them?
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna sing my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do, that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel?
How's it feel out there, PCP Army?
How's it supposed to feel?
Somebody up here said it was Carrie's birthday. That was Carrie. Carrie, is it your birthday? Are you fucking serious? Hold on. I never pay attention to birthdays anymore. I should. Fuck, it's Carrie's birthday today. At least according to Facebook and according to Carrie. Who am I to argue? Carrie? This one's for you. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nana who had a sex with the demon. But was raised by the best of room. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit! Now he fights with the man who's a fish named Abe. That means fish. Now he fights with the fire starter named Liz and an ectoplasmic right now. She thought the show was over. She should know better. The show's never over. Happy birthday, Carrie. Everybody tell Carrie happy birthday! Sledhead's in the house. What's up, Sledhead? What the hell is happening? I was not expecting this. I get that often. I always slightly find it humorous. People come across this YouTube channel right during the Hellboy song. To answer your other question, yes. All right, we got a toy unboxing we're doing here. We're going to open up this Dracula figure. I bought this a while ago. I've not opened it yet. The NECA Dracula figure. Let's fucking open it, y'all. Got a steak knife. To assist me in opening this thing. I try not to. Every time I open these things, I like rip the fucking box right there. You know what though? I don't give a shit. There's the figure. He comes with a bat. Comes with a couple different heads. Got a cloth cape right there. We'll worry about that later. It's got a bat. What is this? It's a tray to put the tray on? Is it a stand? Oh, it's for the bat. It's got a little pole and a stand. You can put the bat on. That's cool. Other hand, some wine. I never drink wine. Let's get this figure out of here. It's a very civilized way to open your action figures with a steak knife. Aim away from your face, though. Hell yeah. All right, let's get this Dracula figure out of here and take a look. Oh, the candle fell out. It comes with a little candle. That's nice. It's got a calm face. It's got a scary face. And this face is the in-between face. I like this face. All right. This Dracula looks very thin in the shoulder area, but I think if we put this cape on, and I typically hate cloth capes, but I think in this case it's going to work. Okay. So this, the collar is made to just snap right on, I think. Oh, yeah. That does it. That makes the figure right there, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. You can't see it. Hold on. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. It's dope as fuck. The cape makes it. The cape makes it happen. He's got his ring on. He's got his ring. He's got his ring right there. Look at that. Oh, that's so fucking dope. Look how cool that is. I don't want to... It's a great display right here. Oh, that's so fucking awesome, actually. The cape's like... Look at that. The way the... Can you see that? The way the cape's just like... Oh, that's so fucking badass. By the way, this is like one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Is the Bela Lugosi Dracula. That is a fucking dope-ass figure. just wish I could get it to... Come on, damn it. Look how cool that looks, y'all. Hold on. I think I got to get super close and do this. Nope. Nope, you don't want to. It's just going to be fuzzy. Trust me, it looks dope. I'll share pictures. Oh, that's so fucking cool. Let's just do that. Dude, that face is amazing. What just fell off of this fucker? Oh, it was just a piece of the fucking rubber bands. That's dope as shit. It is a good likeness. I'm sorry I couldn't get it to like really go into focus. Maybe we need to skip a con next year and get a better camera. Dracula was so close to the camera, I thought he was trying to ring fill all of us. That Dracula does look nice. Pay attention to the socials. We'll send some pics of it. PCP Army and whatnot. Maybe IG. Who knows? All right. That was dope. It was nice. I haven't opened a figure in a while. That was good. I was waiting to buy some more figures before I started opening the ones that I had already. I haven't been buying as many figures because we've been, doing shit like Scarefest and Memphis Comic Expo and Heroes Con and MegaCon and shit like that. So, hell yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks. What's up, everybody? I'm still amazed by this Bela Lugosi action figure, but we're about to do a taste test real quick here. From Coca-Cola Creations, this is the Y3000 Coke. So it's futuristic flavored. They've already done one of these that tasted like the future, allegedly. I don't remember what that one was called. Well, there was one that was, the one that was like, tasted like space. That one was really good. Then there was the Bite one, which was like a grape Coke, and that was weird. Didn't like that one. They just did one that I heard was banana flavored, but I missed out on trying that one. But this is the new Coke, Y3000. This is supposed to be like what Coke tastes like in the year 3000. So let's check it out. It smells like Pepsi, but sour. Okay. Oh, hold on. Aftertaste, not good. What the fuck is this? Is that melon? Citrus melon? What the fuck? Is that a watermelon Coca-Cola? No. I don't like it. It tastes like Coke, but then there's something else. It's like a fruit. It tastes like fucking melon. Like, you're not like... Is this... What the fuck is this? I don't think I like it. I'm giving that a 2.5. You made a Coke. Congratulations. Congratulations for you to making it to the end of another Rockin Robbie Live. Transformers is dope. I'll show you another page. Not that one. I'll show you this one. Some dope ass shit right there.